Party people, what's going on? This is Samaj Marsh. I'm the founder of BlueDeathValley.com, and I want to welcome you guys back to another special episode of Inside the Valley, the podcast that's devoted to relentless coverage of A&T football. Of course, got my two co-hosts here tonight to help me out. First up, former A&T wide receiver and a Greensboro native, my man Dougie Fresh Brown. What's going on, Doug?
Hey, what's up, guys? Aggie Pride, back at it again.
Man, I'm getting tongue-tied, man. It's been a long season, Dougie. Long
season, long week.
Already. We're just halfway through.
Halfway through, man. I told you, October, man, you gotta bring it. You gotta have your best in October, man.
Boy,
gotta get over the hump.
It's a marathon, man. And of course, the man in the middle always speaks those facts, does not talking riddles. Long time A&T insider. Had a great column this week, man. Broke down all the obstacles that's facing us. You got to read those columns before the games, guys. Go to the site, BlueDeathValley.com, and see what CT is putting out there. But he's been beat right on the site for over 2 decades. He is currently the president of the Greensboro chapter of the AAF. My right-hand man, Craig Turner. What's going on, Craig?
Hey, Aggie Pride, man. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah. It's you're right. The season is halfway. We halfway there, and first half hadn't gone too well. So we'll play the second half and see what happens now. So it's rough.
Dougie, man, on the site now, I updated the site today, and I put the headline up and said "Back to Square One," because I feel like last Saturday it was a step backwards. We came straight from that exhilarating win at Norfolk, kind of got us in the right direction. I thought introduced the world to Kevin White Jr. Saw Mr. B.J. Turner, take over. He was like CA Player of the Week with his performance, and thought we had some momentum coming home to Truist Stadium. It was not the biggest crowd in the world because it was, I guess, fall break, but there was a lot of pink in the stadium. Everyone was supporting Community Awareness Day and breast cancer awareness. But when we got in that game, man, I swear, it seemed like from the opening kickoff, it just felt like we was gonna be in for a long night. And I know we, had a couple of splash plays with the kickoff return, and then KJ found a seam on a busted play. But there was really no point in that game where I felt like we were had a chance to win that game. I thought it was inevitable. Guys, did y'all feel the same way? Did you think that there was a turning point? Because I just thought they came out from the gate and just put it on us, and it was really humbling. That's the word I would probably say the best describes that performance was humbling. Like we really did not belong on that field with those guys, at least on that day.
Well, I think the turning point of the game was the last 4 minutes of the second quarter. I think that 4 minute stretch in there, where we had just we had taken the lead, and they came down and scored, and then we turned around and muffed the pooch kick.
Yeah. And it wasn't an onside kick. It was just basically to not kick the ball. They were trying not to kick the ball to Tamon Cook. They was just trying to do that.
Right. And we didn't field the ball cleanly, and they fell on it, and then properly put up some more points. So that right there, I think, broke our back. I think that sequence in there, that turnover there was it was a backbreaker. And we never seemed to really recover from that. It kind of took all the wind out of ourselves. I mean, we were in good shape up until that point. We had played them pretty even. We played them even, really. It's not pretty even. We had played them even for the entire first half. But that play right before halftime was a killer. That was an absolute killer. And they hit the field goal when they go in, and what had been a 6-point game, 7-point game now, you're down 2 scores when you thought you had the momentum before halftime. So
You know what, Dougie? You know what? I'm not sure if you're a big boxing guy, but I am, and it felt like a Terrence Crawford fight because it felt like when Villanova came out there, they were just kind of feeling around that first couple rounds to see what how we reacted to things. See, can we run the ball against them? Yeah, cool. Can we throw the ball against them? Yeah, cool. Are they going to throw the ball against us? No. Are they going to run this way? Yo, and so I felt like they used the first quarter and a half as almost gathering information, and then they just went on it and they stopped, giving us these haymakers and knockout blows. Doug, I know you were kind of at the tailgate most of the afternoon, but I know you probably watched some of the highlights. What was your assessment of last Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can pretty much break last Saturday down as the good, the bad, and the Aggie pride, right? Like that's pretty much how I like to categorize the events that take place or the play and just how the Saturday was laid out. But we're always going to start with the glass half full, and you got to look at some of the positives.
Yeah.
At least from the first half of the game, right? You were able to hold them to a field goal on that first drive, and that's always a big win if you can hold the defense to 3. And after that, you were able to come back with a tremendous kickoff return and a great scheme design. Hats off to the special teams coach for that. Those guys have been, Taymon second in the nation in kickoff returns right now. We know he has 2 he took back to the house, but the scheme is part of that. It's not just Taymon's speed. We hit it up the sideline for some big returns against Norfolk. And then to come back the following week with a little variation of your scheme, you take it to the other side when teams are scheming up to stop you, and you're still able to have a wrinkle to take it to the house. It's huge. So you're able to take the lead in the ball game after giving up, a few more scores. You were able to take advantage of field position and score another touchdown to take the lead, right? So you led twice in the first half. And I know we forget that part, but it felt good to be up 14-13, right? We're like, man, that's battling through adversity, and those are those small wins that we like to see and like that I talk about within a game. Like you have to learn how to win and learn how to continue to compete. So, to come back and take the lead, I know that gave our guys some confidence and our coaching staff some confidence on the sideline. We said at this point in the season, we don't care how the points come, right? We pass, right? Air, train, plane, automobile, don't matter. We want to get in the end zone, right? So we were able to take advantage of good field position. And although, it was, I think, 3rd and short and Kevin kind of rolled out and had pressure, right? I don't know that. Thank God it's Kevin White or athletic quarterback back there that was able to reverse field and elude the pressure. Could have been a big loss, 6-7 yard loss, but he cut it back and he did what Kevin White does, right? Just pretty easily, untouched. So, those are positive that when things break down, we still found a way to score a touchdown. Kevin's got 3 in it was almost 7 quarters of football. He had 3 touchdowns. So there's some positives in that, right? Even though it didn't look pretty, even when it got ugly, we scored walked in the end zone untouched. So you were able to show some perseverance. You battled back, took the lead. Now, that's some of the good. Now the bad for sure, special teams giving up the trick pooch kitchen. Now I got to give their coach credit, right? Yeah. We talked about the wind blowing. I thought the wind was actually blowing in the opposite direction, but they took advantage of that crosswind, that wind cutting through Aggie Stadium, and kicked a kind of tricky pooch kick. You go back and look, he kind of wedged it off the ground, popped that thing straight up in the air. And, from a coach's standpoint, you go back and look to see, were we doing what we were supposed to do? Well, yeah, our guys weren't caught off guard.
You called a fair catch. Guy in position. Called a fair catch.
Called a fair catch. You just had a receiver beside him. That receiver wants to get his hands on the ball some which way or another. So Mr. Mack went in there and they collided and the ball went on the ground. But you had 2 guys in position to call the fair catch and secure the catch. It's not like you didn't have a guy in that hole where they caught you,
but
short,
Dougie,
right?
That's the second week in a row.
So coach has continued, right? But coach preaches execution. The guys preach execution, right? So that is doing something you've been doing all your life since you've been playing football. You're just catching a little kick thrown, kick to you. But we had 2 guys trying to make a play, wanting to make a play, and forgot to communicate in the moment, right? So those things happen. Those things happen when you're trying to figure out how to win and you're not necessarily on the winning train yet, but they'll learn from that, right? I guarantee they'll get some reps this week. Those guys probably talked about it right on the sideline, but those are bad breaks that, cause you to lose a football game. Fortunately, I don't think that washes out Taymon's kickoff return. So, you gave up 3 points off of that kick. It was at a bad time, but You know, I'll take mine 7. You know, so you look at the first half and you hate those mistakes, but you did some good things that you can go back on film and say, you know what, as bad as this looked, we found a way to take the lead twice when we were down, and you know, just couldn't make some plays to get them off the field. But you know, you look at that. I look at Mr. Prunty got a sack that he predicted, so there's something that he knows within the scheme that, you know, it works. Some of the things they're doing and dialing up are working. You saw Mr. Anthony Harrison getting busy, you know, on the D line. He looking like he might be a player, but there's some positives there, man. We definitely got to keep working.
Listen,
but
there's a lot of positives.
You start there, but I know we can pile on, you know, some of the negatives, and we've talked about some of them.
Yeah.
But we got the whole show for that. But I got to go with some of the Aggie and some of the Aggie pride too. It was definitely nice seeing some of the faces and being back in Aggie Stadium after being on the road what seemed like forever, you know, a long month. And you know, had a chance to meet some tremendous friends and hang out. Got a chance to kick it with Bobo and family a little bit too, man. So heard some tremendous stories. Got to meet and greet with some tremendous supporters, man. So before we even get started, I want to give a shout out to some very special people. I won't name names because I didn't get permission to name names, but if you came by and shook hands with me, gave me a hug, got a chance to meet me at the tailgate, and it was my pleasure to interact with you all. And I look forward to you joining the show when you get a moment. So, you know, go ahead, make sure your hair and everything's in place. You know, make sure you're ready to go. But I'll pass it on, man. We don't have all night, but we got some more time to talk about it.
No,
shout out to the fans,
awesome.
Man.
That's awesome. Like I said, this whole platform would not be possible unless the fans love it, embrace it, and support us. And we are super appreciative. That's why we do what we do. You know, that's why we try to, you know, speak the truth, no matter if it's comfortable or uncomfortable. We try to be knowledgeable. We try to be fair. First and foremost, we want to be fair to everybody. But like you say, Doug, you know, that's this. We 1-4 in a year, but things are not all bad. We do have some positives. One of the positives has been the play of our inside linebacker, BJ Turner. He's a transfer from UNC Charlotte, and he's come and take over the Aggie Nation by storm. He was a CAA player of the week a couple weeks ago in Norfolk. He had a great effort, and he actually is a second generation Aggie because his dad, the original Barry Turner Sr., is a Hall of Famer. He was a Hall of Fame running back for us back in the 90s, Craig, when that wing T was really rolling. He was one of those guys that Bill Hayes used to roll out there, just give him the ball and make things happen. And we actually got him on the show tonight as a special surprise guest, Mr. Barry Turner, coming to the show, and I want to welcome you to Inside the Valley, Mr. Hall of Famer. How you doing, sir? You muted. You got to unmute yourself, sir.
I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure. Hey, anytime we get a chance to talk to a Hall of Famer, we are so honored. You know, you had an illustrious career, and people don't understand, man. Them 90s was a little bit different. When you talk about A&T football in those early 90s, you had to be a tough hombre. You had to wear, you know, your pail, you bring your lunch pail, and especially with Bill Hayes, man. He didn't have a whole bunch of elaborate, you know, misdirection stuff. He gave you the ball and said, "We going straight through you, huh?"
Downhill.
Downhill, man.
Downhill.
But I'm sure you're pretty proud right now because your son BJ is as Coach Brown said in press conference, he's the heart and soul of this Blue Devil defense. What is it like to be able to sit back and watch your son on Saturdays?
Well, it's great just seeing him doing what he loved to do, not just play football. My wife and I just love just following him wherever he goes, just giving him the opportunity to do what he liked to do. As Charlotte was a little rough, he didn't play as much as he wanted to, but he was there for education. So now he want to just pin his ears back and just play football and have fun.
And he's a graduate, so he already got his degree from UNC Charlotte?
Yes, he got his undergraduate and his master's.
Wow. And so now I guess and I remember reading the article when he was being recruited from Page that you was kind of pushing him to come to A&T, but you know, he ended up ultimately choosing to go to the 49ers in Charlotte. So you had to be pretty happy when he came back and said, "Dad, you know, I think I might take another look at that blue and gold."
Most definitely. He just wanted to play in front of family and friends. Well, we didn't have to travel all over the place, so his grandma and granddad can come watch him play.
Gotcha. And Craig, this is right up your alley because me and you were talking before. We talking about BJ, and you talking about his dad. And you might be one of the biggest Barry Turner Senior fans on the planet because every time we have a conversation about that old school 3 yards and the cloud of dust football, Craig always brings your name up. Craig, give me a scout report on this guy in the lower left hand corner. What was he like in his heyday?
He had the ability to stop on a dime, make guys miss, and then it was lights out. I mean, that whole entire backfield, James White, oh golly, but that whole wing T setup that Bill Hayes had in that backfield with Connell Maynor at quarterback was devastating. I mean, people were scared. People were literally scared when A&T came into town. I mean, everybody was just like, "Oh Lord," just dropped their heads and started shaking their head because they knew what was coming. They knew what was coming. And I think the one thing that stood out to me was the game you guys had up at Howard. I think it was in '91. It was Howard's homecoming, and that was kind of like the game that really, I think, really started the whole A&T run. You guys put on a show, and that one you broke in the fourth quarter to put the game away. I never seen people leave. I never seen 30,000 people leave a stadium so fast in my life.
Yeah, we had a great backfield, like you said, and Coach Hayes' motto was, "We're gonna run until you stop it."
Yes,
so we just used to come at you. Between James White, myself, Connell, Fred Ingram, Rudy Brown, Mike Artis, it just was too many of us to stop at that time. That's why I tell my son now. He tell my dad, "If I played in your era, you'll be in trouble." I said we was a different era. We was coming straight downhill. There ain't no sidestepping you, trying to go around you. We coming at you.
You know what, man? We're going to have to build a time machine because I want to see that. I want to see the Oklahoma drill between Barry Turner Sr. and BJ Turner Jr. I want to see how that would happen if y'all had to go one-on-one at the goal line. Come on, Pops. Tell me the truth, man. You think you can hold your own?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Coming straight, right, like I told him, I was 6'1.5", 225, coming right at you. It's kind of hard to stop that. I'm at least gonna get 4 yards every time. I'm falling forward.
Hey, so look here, man. When you talk about Connell Maynor, he's almost Dougie. He's almost a good comp to what we got now on Kevin White. Kevin White's a little bit taller, but Kevin White, he likes to go by air, by land, and same way with Connell. Connell had a strong arm, but he was fleet of foot, and he could take that read option.
He could scramble. He
could go. Man. Hey, Barry, do you think we have all these troubles about passing attack? You think that wing T could work for us right now?
I believe BJ told me some of his players said we might need to go back to the wing T because all we're doing is running the ball anyway. Sometime we might just have to go back to it and say 3 yards in the cloud of dust. Let's see what happens.
Well, look, Dougie, check this out. So we had Barry Turner, right? So that could be what is that who's that? Is that Graves or is that Christian? Who would you say would be the comp?
Man, I don't know if we got a Barry Turner. That's tough to comp, man. Now, you know how I am with my comps. I don't just throw comps out there.
Yeah.
Listen. I fell in love with football because of Barry Turner in his era, man. I still thought I was a running back up around that point, but seeing those guys, man, I tried to dress like those guys. I tried to run like those guys. That's football as I knew it. I didn't know there was other stuff other than the wing T because that's what they ran, and being a part of or visiting those great games and being close to some of the coaches and the staff that was hanging around, man, that is where I developed my love for Aggie football. I was born in the early 80s and remember carrying Allen Hooker's helmet in those early late 80s teams. But when I started to understand the game and really root hard for A&T and up in the stands yelling, man, it's because of guys like Barry, man. So, I don't throw that comp around often, with he and James White, man. That's, like you said, that was a different era of football just across the board, the physicality. And there's no way you meeting Barry at the goal line and stopping him, like you said, one-on-one. And that's kind of I pattern the way I play receiver after those guys. Like, you can't bring a person down one-on-one. It's too hard to get me down to tackle me and bring me to the ground. You're gonna have some help. And like you said, with a full head of steam, that's tough. But we've got some guys that can emulate the mentality. The Gravedigger, he's tough to bring down. Charlie Dixon has the size, and Kenji Christian has the speed. So I guess if you take all three of those guys and kind of mush them together a little bit, you might get a little bit of Barry Turner, on the side. But man, those guys were extra special, man. And just, that's just on the offensive side of the ball we're talking about. We know, the origins of the Blue Death defense and the run those guys had, which, talking to some of the old heads or younger guys that we know, those guys want to know, do they know about Blue Death? Who's gone back to talk to the team? And so I had to mention, we've got a few old heads that's got kids on the team and players on the team. So they probably know a little bit about it, but you guys set the standard. So that's a tough comp there, man. No doubt.
I appreciate that.
Hey, Barry, let me ask you, so how did your son gravitate to defense? Because I'm pretty sure in Little League and all that stuff, he probably was a running back like yourself. When did he go over to the dark side of that Blue Death?
He always been just go get your type of guy. He played nose guard, quarterback, and he played running back for us. He went to quarterback when we threw the ball, played running back when we ran the ball, and on defense we put him at nose guard because I know you're gonna go get the ball from me. We couldn't block him. Then what happened was he started running the ball, then he break. Somebody come to get him, he turned around and run over him instead of scoring. So I said, okay. I said, hey, look, you like contact, let's go. We're gonna move to defense. So when we went into middle school, we started concentrating on quarterback a little bit. Then he broke his elbow. Then once he broke his elbow in practice, I said, all right, let's go to defense. More people make it to the pros playing defense than they do with running back. Right. So we gravitated to the linebacker position. That's where he's been ever since.
So, Barry, I have a question for you, man, before Tomas goes. Barry, he plays at a different speed at times, right? And that's evident, when we first turned on this film, I was like, hey, we got a guy that's going to come in and play linebacker right now because, just how hard he plays, how he gets to the ball, his ability to get guys to the ground. What in his development or preparation or even his time in Charlotte helped prepare him or made him the player that he is today? Because he pretty much showed up to A&T with a lot of the talent and skills that he has. Yeah. And what can we bring, or what have you noticed from his time that we can bring and implement in our program to create more Barry Turner?
Well, the biggest thing I think is by him playing offense, because by him playing offense, he understands what the defense is trying to do to you. So when the running back he cut to the hole with the running back. He see the hole when the running back see the hole. That's why sometimes he hit the hole right when the running back hit it, because he anticipating where he's going to be at, because if he was running the ball, he'd be doing the same thing. So that's one good thing I think by him playing offense. It helped him develop his awareness of what's the play trying to do. And the only thing, when he come out of high school, he was a more attack style player. Down here, go get you. The crew that recruited him to Charlotte, that's what they were looking for. The next crew that came in, they were looking for somebody to wait at the line, wait for it to develop, and then attack down here. But it's kind of hard keeping 300-pounders off of you and still making plays.
Yeah.
So he played some, this and that, but I think a mix of what he learned in Charlotte, as far as being patient and waiting for the play to develop, then hitting the hole, as well as his aggressive downhill style, has really helped him a lot now that he's in the A&T, and they pretty much saying, go make plays.
And see, and Dougie, Craig, maybe, I'm a homer or whatever, but I think this guy has potential to play on Sundays, man. I think, anytime you have a nose for football, and Barry, like you said, your son just has that high football IQ. You always want to have like a Luke Kuechly out there who can call out the play before they even say hike, and he sets the defense, gets everybody else in place. I noticed this season so far has not gone like a lot of us have wanted. From what you talk to your son, I'm pretty sure the guys are still optimistic. What is the mindset of that locker room right now?
I think that right now, he said they still trying to go get it. Each and every day in practice, they still competing. They still trying to get better. They still meeting as a group, trying to learn each other, because they just got together, some of them. So, they got to learn the tendencies of each other. Like if he shoot the hole, the next linebacker got to know, come clean it up. Because he took his shot, he took out the blockers. Now you come clean up the rest of it, and vice versa. So that's the biggest thing. I think as they learn each other down the road, I say about going into the sixth game?
Fifth game, yeah.
I say probably about the eighth game, you're going to start seeing the defense click a whole lot better as far as understanding each other and what they do. It's just hard to emulate that in practice, and then when you go to the game. And by them being young and some of them ain't used to doing it, they just trying to catch up to the speed of the game.
Yeah. Well, the Turner boys are part of an elite group, and that would be the father-son combination of Aggies who had a chance to play. And for me, that I know how special that relationship is. But tell me, what is it like on Saturday when you're able to, come to Aggie Stadium like you did this past Saturday, and just take in a game and watch BJ do his thing? And I know you've seen him, playing different venues, but what has it been like to see him in that Aggie blue and gold? And not only that, where do you take in the game from? Are you a sideline guy, or do you like to be in the stands and hear what's going on? Do you have to get away from folks, or are you just taking it in as a casual fan?
Basically, I'm a casual fan. I sit back there and just watch him play. My wife asks me questions, what's this, what's that? I say, come on now, he been playing since 7. You still asking me the same question? but it's just a joy just to watch him playing the blue and gold because, some of the boys told me, all right, now he coming back. Now he can't stink up the field. He better start. He better do this. He better do that. But I say, hey, look, no pressure, son. Go have fun. Go be who you are. You your own man. You make your own way. I'm not living through you. Go have fun. And that's the biggest thing I tell him each and every day. If you don't never play again, at least you can say you went out the way you wanted to go out, having fun.
Hey, so Barry, you don't get like those dad butterflies? Because when my son plays high school ball, and I like on Friday nights, man, like around 4:00, I started getting like, oh God, we got games at 7. You don't get that little spectator
when he first started, I did, but now I just know what I expect when he get on the field, and that's for him to do his best. And as long as he do his best when he get off the field, of course I'm gonna point out what he did wrong, what he missed, and then we're gonna go have something to eat, and then we're gonna discuss it some more. But as long as he having fun doing what he's doing his best, I'm a proud dad. No way.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Right.
And like I said, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time. I know you said you had church tonight. You kind of made, as soon as you left church, you came on to join the show. But we definitely appreciate your time and your insight. Guess what? Real quick, give me a Bill Hayes story, because every time we always got to get a Bill Hayes story from everybody who played under the man. So give me a Bill Hayes story, man.
The biggest Bill Hayes story I remember is probably when we first came to A&T. I was a freshman. I was playing basketball. I got fluid on my knee, so I couldn't practice. So me and James both was out because he had played an East-West game and he was hurt. He came up to me and said, hey, fellas, how do I supposed to win the Kentucky Derby without y'all in the game? So therefore, that right there told us what we meant to the program, and that's what stuck with me and James White from that point on, and we just worked our butt off to make him proud of us every chance we got to.
Man, that's awesome.
That is, man. Hey, man, shout out to the Turtle family, man. We can't get off without just reminding you how great you guys are, man, and giving a shout out to BJ and his tremendous character, right? That's one thing we hadn't had a chance to talk about, is the type of kid he is off the field. And that's the type of kid we want in our program. We're trying to grow some more kids like that come in. He's got his degree, he got his master's, and I don't know that he's wearing the captaincy, but he's definitely a leader on that ball club, and he's leading by example.
Gotta have that seal.
When we look to the future and look forward, those are the type of kids that we want continue to carry the torch for A&T. So, man, you guys have done a tremendous job, man. I think it's special that you've had a chance to coach him and watch him develop as well. So,
I definitely appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, real quick, I'll be remiss too, man. You were inducted to the A&T Sports Hall of Fame 2014. Just real quick, what was that process and honor like? Because I'm pretty sure it had to be a culmination of a great career, right?
Yes, it was. We had to submit all our records as far as what we did, what we were. A lot of people don't realize when I left, I was like, I think number 3 in receiving yards. I didn't just run the ball. I was right up top in the catching the ball too. That was one of the things I probably like to do better than anything, was just catch the ball, because I knew it was hard for a linebacker to stay with me at that time. So that was the biggest thing, was just them seeing what was in me and giving me a chance to be in the Hall of Fame and going there with the rest of my brothers that we played with. We fought together, and it was just real special.
So let me read from your little bio here. So it's over 2,700 rushing yards, and that was 4th all time on the Aggie's rushing list. And you also had 92 receptions for over 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. So you were really, a true multi-purpose back, man. And you helped lead the Aggies to back-to-back MEAC titles in 91 and 92. Those some great teams, man, I tell you. Any thoughts on the CAA versus the MEAC? I know the MEAC was your bread and butter. Now it's a new era. Any observations?
No, I think we'll be okay. The biggest thing we just gotta get our facilities together so we can compete with them and we can attract the type of kids that we need in order to compete. We got to get bigger, of course, on the D line and on the O line as well. So I think we'll be okay once we get in the right players that he needs to succeed. But I think he's going in the right direction right now.
Okay. So you know what Dougie's tailgate is, right? Right behind the field house. Okay, yes. So next home game, I hope I can run into you, man, and we can extend this conversation, man, because I got to hear some more of those stories from that golden era, and just want to send my all to the family. Thank you so much for sending your son here. That second generation makes a difference, man. We love having these Aggies coming over back to back, and hopefully he'll send his sons when he gets to be a father and all that good stuff. So good deal, man. So thanks so much, Barry, for joining us, and we'll definitely have you back on here.
All right, appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, have a good one.
That was a Hall of Fame, Barry Turner, surprise guest, man. Of course, he's the father of BJ Turner, and he's a proud dad, man. And his son is out there balling. You talked about the positives, man. That has been no stronger positive than that grad transfer, BJ Turner. And Craig, he's kind of like the starter that stirs the drink. And I wish he had a couple more years of eligibility, because I think he's somebody.
I think you and me both.
Oh, boy. Because you know what? It's like with his IQ, like you said, and his leadership. Man, we have about this, one more year he could bring in, because we like you said, we're gonna bring in some reinforcements. We're gonna have more defensive linemen, more edge rushers. We're gonna have some more big bodies in there, but we need that leadership to guide them around and show them what that A&T culture is all about. So, man, we still got right now though, Dougie. We still got 5 more games.
That's right.
He
shows the scheme. He shows you the potential of the scheme as well, man. He's out there making plays, but he gets a chance to make some one-on-one and solo tackles, right? He makes a lot of solo tackles, and you got to have a guy that can get it done. And if I'm a linebacker and I'm looking at the scheme, I'm like, man, that could be me. Making 19 tackles, 2 pass breakups, type of deal. So linebackers out there. I know we got some guys on the roster, but those future recruits, those transfers is looking. I'm sure they're taking notice. Those guys that left some vacancies, right? I'm sure they noticed that guy when he looks up and he's CAA Defensive Player of the Week. So, yeah.
And look, and like I say, he's being put in a scheme that's enhancing his chances to go to that next level. When anytime you making 19, 20 tackles a game, NFL scouts gonna look. They're gonna see what's this all about. And so, like, man, I wouldn't be surprised to see him, get some draft buzz after this season. But Craig, we had that tough showing at against Villanova on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't get any easier, because this week we travel up to Newark, Delaware. And when you think of CAA, the now Coastal Athletic Association, there's a couple of blue bloods, and one of those is the Delaware Blue Hens.
They are tough.
They historic program. I think the wing tee started from them, right? they created the whole wing tee. Yeah, they got the little Michigan lookalike helmets, and they always lead the nation in attendance. It's not just Southern and Jackson State and maybe but North Dakota State. They always in the top 5, top 6. They got a rabid following up there in Delaware. They had a sellout crowd last week, and that wasn't even a homecoming. The homecoming is this week when we come to town, so we're homecoming bait. But Craig, Doug, the good thing is, if there's any saving grace, because on paper it doesn't look too promising, but if there's any saving grace, it might come in the form of Mother Nature, because the weather conditions this week, I think the temperature's gonna be in the low 50s, and it's supposed to be raining, so it's gonna be cold and wet.
Well, I mean, I know that on paper or to the way it sounds, it might sound like a positive for us. But I mean,
Yeah.
who's more used to playing in cold and wet weather?
Yeah, they from there.
They are. And
hey guys, I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my best here.
We said we're gonna give it to you truthfully, give it to you raw.
Yeah, really.
I'm an offensive guy. I always thought it's easier to play offense, when it's rainy like that, as a receiver, because you know where you're going. You have some time to think about the cuts you got to make. You're able to adjust. Whether I know guys don't take the gloves off for nothing now, but depending on what kind of gloves you want to wear and how you got to adjust to catching the football. So, like Craig said, those guys are kind of used to that. Saturday was one of the first days we played on a semi-wet surface, and you saw us have some slips out there, right? We slipped, trying to make a few tackles. We had a few coverage busts, where they gave up some big scores, and we talk about bad timing and bad breaks, right? Like that's how they got a few of the early scores, just giving up some wide open pass plays. So, that doesn't get easier on a wet, rainy surface. You got to be even more on point. And so I'm excited about the opportunity for us to play in that venue, right? That's one of those games that, it'll be fun to play in if you're a go-getter. But, hey, it is what it is. Still football. It's still 53.5 yards wide. And we're used to playing in big crowds for homecoming. So I don't think that's anything new to us. It may be something that some of our guys kind of spark up for. And, I was always one of those guys. I like a rowdy opposing atmosphere where, guys are going to get at you a little bit. That always kind of ramps up the adrenaline a little bit. So we'll see. But, yeah, it's going to be – if it's nasty out there. But I know they're more of a spread team and pass it more than they have in the past. So, I guess that does – you can't say that may help you out a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing, Craig, that probably will help us out, and hopefully we finally see it, this week is like Coach said, complimentary football, and we got to do something on offense. Right now, we have I looked at the FCS stats the other day. No, I know we're still dead last in the nation in passing, and I think we're like bottom 3 or bottom 5 in total offense. It's been a catastrophe from day one. Okay, let's not even sugarcoat it. We got this. I think we have a really good offensive line, and I think we have a really excellent stable of running backs. But for whatever reasons, the quarterback situation and the wide receivers have not been able to get on the same page. Craig, what is your outlook as far as can we get anything established here this week? What's your gut feeling about this offense right now?
It's going to be tough in Delaware. No question about it. It's going to be tough. They're a veteran football team. Defensively, they haven't been overwhelming this year. They've basically been outscoring a lot of people, and because they got a very potent offense. But defensively, they're okay. They're not great. They remind me a lot of Elon. If you look at them on film, they're not overly big, but they have very good linebackers. Their linebackers are the best group I've seen this year on film. They've got some really good linebackers. They're very active.
Hold on a second. So I thought you supposed to be the positive guy. I'm supposed to be Mr. Negative. So I think we got our roles mixed up. You ain't saying nothing good yet.
Listen, listen. It is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. Like I said last week, this is an extremely young football team, and they're learning on the fly on a game by game basis, and that's the way when you look out there and you see 6 or 7 freshmen starting on your defensive unit, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have some issues. We're making plays, and to be perfectly honest about it, I think for all the youth we have on defense, actually defense has not played that badly. I think they've played well. I think our biggest problem is that our offense hasn't given them a break. And I think that's one reason. That's the big reason why you only have one win on the season. Is that offensively, we just haven't produced anything of resembling any kind of consistency as far as moving the football. And that's what this defense needs. They need a offense that's going to do, that's going to put together, some 8, 9, 10, 12 plays. Even if you don't score, you're giving your defense a break. And when you don't have to put it, when you got a defense with that many young people in it, with the inexperience that you've got, you can't go out there and play 65 snaps, 65, 70 snaps a game. You can't do it. You can't do it with a team that's a killer. That's a killer. And that's really what the story of this season, of the entire season. So, you talk about Delaware, like I said, they're ranked 8th in the country. They've got a good defensive team. They'll show you a lot of different looks. They like to mix it up all over the place. They try to confuse you and disrupt you by bringing those linebackers. Those linebackers are really, really good. Their defensive line, they play 3-down linemen, but it's the linebackers that's the core of that team. Statistically, though, they're not. They give up some points. They've been giving up on average about 24 points a game. So, it's not. They give up some plays. They make a lot of plays, but they do give up plays from time to time. So, but with this offense, it's going to be tough.
So Craig, how much of that was the Penn State game?
That's the only game they lost.
I want to know. I don't know if they finished with them. I know they gave up some points in another game.
Well, let's look at it. I got it right here. They beat Stony Brook to open up the season. It was 37-13. Stony Brook is about like us. They got a real young team and new coach and all that sort of thing. Penn State beat them 63-7, but hell, Penn State's going to do that to most everybody. Yeah. St. Francis, Patriot League, they beat them 42-14. That was expected. New Hampshire, they got by them 29-25. That was a tight ball game up there. And they beat up a Duquesne team, which was 43-17 last week. So other than New Hampshire and Penn State, they've had a pretty soft schedule, to tell you the truth about. So that's why I said, anything's possible. Yeah. They're going to be playing homecoming up. They're having homecoming up there. They're going to be probably, distracted a bit. And I'm going to tell you something. The hardest thing for a good football team to do is get up for a team that's struggling.
Yeah, that's true. That was going to be my point. No way in the world they're not going to overlook us in some format. That's true. And
you can't do it. I mean, you can't help. Guys can't help from overlooking.
The coaches can preach it all week. They can put it on the bulletin board. They can find it. They can make A&T seem like the 85 Bears on defense. But still, the players, they know what 1-4 is, and they know what the worst offense in the country looks like. But like you say, they got homecoming. I don't know what D-Ho, whatever they call it up there, looks like, but I'm pretty sure it ain't G-Ho. So I don't know if they got day parties up in Newark, Delaware all week, but they might have some type of country line dancing they get distracted with. We all know what they get down.
Yeah, they blew hands. They probably got an egg hunt or something. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. But look, I put the link in the chat. We opened up the show to all the fans. We're not gonna be here too much long because my Astros are playing right now. I don't want. If we win, I'll take a score. If we lose, I don't want to hear about it. But
at least he ain't wearing that hat tonight.
Hey,
really.
I got over there.
He got some sense tonight. Act like he got some sense.
But look, if y'all want to get on here and speak your piece, you had a comment or whatever, check the link in the chat. It's on Twitter. It's on the A&T fan forum. I saw somebody was in the green room. Jeter, come back if you want to get on the show. We'll bring you up on here. But we just want to kind of just collectively just take a look at where we are right now. We had a press conference on Monday with Coach Brown. Pretty interesting because I didn't know what to expect going into that press conference. Usually I kind of can have an idea how he's going to be, but there was some interesting comments in the post-game article this past Saturday. He was quoted as having some strong opinions. I guess he was, speaking right after the game was over, and he was not super pleased with what had transpired. What did he say? He said something to the press was, this is kind of like, we're not going to win any games in this conference. We don't have better offense. We can't run the ball. He says, having 7 yards passed in the first half was like unacceptable. And he said he knows there was things that we can do to help our offense, whatever. But, and we're going to get it fixed. And so I was like, okay, wow, it doesn't need to be said, what my solution is to fix offense, right? But we don't have to go back over that. But I thought, maybe he was gonna get crazy and shake some things up. So I asked him point blank on Monday. I said, "Had you considered make any staff changes? Just maybe doing something with figuring out somebody else call the plays." He said emphatically, no. Like, he cut that off at the pass. No. He felt like it was not a good idea to make any changes to the staff at this point. It would be not fair to the kids to have a different, I guess, voice and all that. So he's going to stay the course. And I asked him, so, you said you had a solution, you figured something out. And Dougie, he said basically that he felt like they could make the routes, I guess, a little bit shorter. He says he felt like sometimes they were having the guys go too far downfield, and it was causing the quarterback to hold the ball. And honestly, Doug, I thought he was going to say more than that. I thought we had a better solution than that, because I was saying that in game 1 in real time against UAB. So I hope that wasn't the epiphany that they had, that after 5 weeks, they finally figured out that the routes are maybe not the right routes they should be running. Doug, you played offense. You played wide receiver. You coach offense, man. Tell me, do you feel like we at least have are we on a pathway to get some answers? Do you feel like we're in the process of figuring things out? How comfortable are you right now with the state of our offense?
Comfortable? I'm not comfortable with where we are
okay
at the moment as an Aggie fan, right? As a former offensive guy, I definitely still believe in a lot of the guys we have out there and some of our talent. But obviously there's some things we need to do different, play calling wise, and putting our guys in the best position to make plays. You heard Barry Turner speak of how good he thought the defense may be, weeks down the road, week 8. So I'm with Coach in the pool of like not making changes as to who's calling plays right now, right? You still got to give your guys a chance to develop. The quarterback you have in the game right now is going into his 3rd start, right? So he needs more snaps. He needs a chance. And I am of the fan group and in the pool of turn Kevin White loose, right? Unleash, right? We want to see him go out there and light it up and do what we saw he could do when he passed for over 3,500 yards in high school the senior year, right? We know he's super talented. And, we also spoke last week about, what does the immediate future look like for him? And then hopefully what his long-term future looks like in an Aggie uniform. But, I'm also of the thought of taking it game by game and really analyzing the data, looking to see what your team looks like and making decisions based on the data that you have. So with that being said, I am of the camp to unleash Kevin White, but this week you're looking for a way to win the ball game. Maybe you shake it up a little bit. This might be something that you guys aren't thinking about, but is this the week that we go back to a 2-quarterback system? Not a true system, but at some point, are you going to look to put another guy in the game? Some snaps and some reps, right? Are we looking to make sure Kevin White doesn't get killed out there, right? Yeah. I need that to be on your mind going into this game, because what we don't want to do is run Kevin White into the ground this season, and you look up and he's going into the next season nicked up because, we just said, hey, this is our guy. We're going to give him the ball every play. Because, it'd be one thing if I'm seeing a scheme that's highlighting his abilities. It's another thing when I'm seeing him take some hits and running the ball in some situations that I'm not comfortable seeing them get hit in. So I think that if we continue to build the offense around them and the skill set of our quarterbacks, and we continue to protect them, the sky's the limit for what he can do. But you got to take it game by game, right? And Delaware hadn't seen us do too much with anybody else in the last 2 games. Maybe you throw a wrinkle in there where you throw another quarterback out there and double pass, something, right? We need some things. We're gonna need some big plays and some spark, some creativity, right? But also, I don't want them banging up on Kevin White, because now they got 2 games worth of film on him and ways to attack him and put him in some tough positions, right? So I think
that's a good point, Doug. We
just cognizant of the development. Go ahead.
Listen, we 5 games in, right? We scored, I think, a total of 2 offensive touchdowns the whole season. Both of them. No, excuse me. How many? 3.
No,
in his last 6 quarters, right?
Let's see how many actual offensive touchdowns did we score? We said we had 4 against.
You had 4 against Norfolk,
and you had 1.
You got going against Central with Graves' run to the end zone against Central.
Right. Okay.
There you go.
So that's 6. I guess.
Kenny Christian has his.
Have we had any passing
2, right?
Have we had any passing touchdowns? Have we had any passing touchdowns this year?
No.
Unfortunately not.
Okay, so that was the fun fact I was trying to bring up. So we haven't had any passing touchdowns this year. And I don't understand why we even try to trick play. Like you said, that the Philly special or the double pass, something. What do we have to lose, man? Like Chris Young, I don't want to beat up on you every show, but we gotta have a sense of urgency here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let me show you something too, because Coach Brown, he said this, so it gives me the license to expound on it. Some of our pass routes just seems like, what are we doing? So let me bring this one play up here.
Play action.
And so hopefully this ain't too blurry. If it's blurry, let me know, and I'll do something about it. But this is 3rd down and 6. Okay, let me go back. It's 3rd down and 6. Okay, and I want y'all to look, and basically how quarterback play is how it works is all on a rhythm, right? So you kind of marry the routes to the drop. The quarterback is
timing.
It's time. It's all about timing. So you got basically when you got a deep pass play like this, you usually even shot, then you got a 3-step drop. So it's 1, 2, 3. That's the time. That's your feet. 1, 2, 3, and then usually for like a 3rd and 5. When you're going 1, 2, 3, the receiver is in a 3-step like route. So he's doing like a slant or whatever. So somebody's head should be looking on that 1, 2, 3. Somebody's head should be looking for the ball. Or
your quick game, a short passing game, right? Yeah. Every team should have some sort of quick game or short passing game.
Right.
Everybody works on it.
And at the very least, you got to have a awareness in the pocket where you got 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. That's as long as you really have normally when you got people running at you. You got hike 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and before I say the word 3 Mississippi, I need to be having my feet in the ground, not on my toes, but my feet in the ground, ready to transfer into a throw. Now I might have to reset and roll around and things, jailbreak, whatever. But the concept is, if everything works like it should be working, I should catch the ball 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, throw. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, throw. That's how you got to think as a quarterback and as a play caller. So when you watch this, there's nobody open that even turn their head at the 3-second mark. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Play action. White has plenty of time. Fires and it'll.
Did y'all see that okay, or was it blurry? Was it okay?
That was fine.
That was okay.
Yeah.
So let me do it one more time. And basically we ran this verticals on 3rd and 5, and your only option was basically throwing kind of like a skinny post to Jakari Caldwell. On like nothing else is in the middle of the field.
Play action. White.
Right there. Okay, so who is he gonna throw the ball to? It's 30.
I don't know. If he throws a slant, it's there. If he throws a slant, he's there because he's got the inside position. Okay. I don't understand it. I don't understand it either. I don't understand it either. Because if you back that up, that defensive back is giving up that inside position. So
you're talking about this slant right here up top? That's Caldwell. So he's got like a little press coverage on him, and then you got this safety who's playing So this is like a robber. So this guy right here, the safety at the bottom, he's going to go down, and this safety right here is going to fall back to like a cover 3. So I think that
they go ahead.
Yeah, so,
Play action. White has.
They played some trail techniques, man. I let us, basically shattered our guys, and they had 2 safeties over the top. So
I was wrong.
They played some 2-man.
Yeah, actually wasn't 2-man. I thought he was going to drop down.
But
you're right.
They felt comfortable enough to line up against our guys and didn't feel threatened by not being able to play man. And actually, their cornerbacks coach actually came over, tried to get a plate. We had to let them know how we ran things. We talked them through it. We fed them.
But Delaware, okay.
No, from Villanova.
Villanova, yeah.
And he talked about he had some really positive, encouraging things to say about Coach Brown, and really believed that we got the right guy and that he's gonna get it going in the right direction. Didn't ask many questions on how he knew Coach Brown. He just was a believer in Coach Brown and the system. But definitely highlighted that when he turned on the film, they weren't really too afraid of what we were going to do in the passing game. So that allows you to play with those safeties and let those guys be aggressive at corner and kind of man us up in those passing situations. But that's probably what we'll see on 3rd and long or whatever. So,
but look, Dougie, that's 3rd and 6, and you got this whole field here, and you got receivers going down like it's the end of a half Hail Mary. Like, why is that so hard to get somebody in the middle of that green, or like a drag or something, or a comeback route, or like a lot of green, Craig say a quick slant.
Quick slant. It was there.
It was right there. And your best bet is to throw 20 yards down the field to Jakari Caldwell. No knock on Jakari Caldwell, but Jakari Caldwell probably got the worst hands on the team right now. I don't feel like that is a high percentage throw. Okay, give me Jakari Caldwell on a 5-yard drag route. I feel comfortable he can go to body catch. Anything down the field with his hands, I don't feel good about right now. Okay.
Plenty of time. Fires, and it'll fall to the ground.
To his credit, Kevin White threw a dime, and that hit Caldwell in the worst possible place.
Hey, he can throw now.
He threw a dime. That's a big time throw, but it's not something like, based on our personnel with the receivers, it's not something you can live and die by. And you got like Coach Brown was saying, you can't have 4 verticals on 3rd and 5. That's not fair to our current roster. You're not putting these guys in the best position to be successful. You're asking.
I didn't see what. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me show you. One more time.
Play action. White has plenty of time.
Was that our number one option?
Play.
Looking to swing it to the running back, because he looks like he's double covered, or the linebacker is definitely on him. But I don't know if that's the DN or the other guy that comes off. I think we may have been trying to set up something to the running back. But again,
okay, let me see.
I'd like more than one option, viable option.
What
3rd and 5.
But that linebacker is coming out to cover that guy in the flat.
He's covering him right now. And Kevin, I can't tell from this view if Kevin is looking at him like if we're trying to dump it off, like we expected pressure, and those guys are running those guys off. But you kind of want a better. I might prefer a different play call to get some guys open. Just run it and see if
action White.
Running back that, like he's almost like that DN is all so wide, like he even recognized that, hey, they're trying to dump it off to the running back. You got 2 guys on the guy that we're expecting to be open.
Yeah, and then you got
Kevin's drops don't look bad.
Yeah, and you got like a linebackers, I guess, who's spying Kevin White, but
Kevin's spying Kevin, right? And that's what you're gonna see, because that's what you're gonna see. And I would even argue that DN is also getting wide to help contain Kevin, right? We want to. They're trying to force him to the spy, right? So that those are things that people are doing to try to take away his legs immediately. So again, you guys pointed out all that beautiful green grass, and shout out to the crew for getting that grass together. Make sure somebody adds that to the chat. How many pages we're on now. We have what is probably the best natural surface in the state right now. Because I saw Elon, and they've had a few more home games, but their field was falling apart when we played them, and even on film last week. Their field doesn't look as good as ours. So, State looks maybe us in State right now in terms of natural surfaces. So we got to give those guys a shout out too. But hey, yeah, let's get that drag route with one of the guys coming across the middle, Jakari. He's got some speed. He caught a lot of short routes in high school. His whole highlight tape, he took some to the house catching them short. So we got to take advantage of that. Maybe do something to pick that spot, right? We got to get that guy off of Kevin, because if you're getting that guy's way, Kevin might take it to the house. And he actually had a few runs where he did, take it up the middle, get some positive yards. But that's just not how we want to move the ball, right? But
yeah, I guess. I don't want the option to be a 20-yard post route on 3rd and 6. That's my point.
Has plenty of time. Fires and it'll.
And that was a good. I mean, it was a good route, a good pass, but we've got some issues with catching that ball. But let me show you. So let's not all be negative. Let me show you the good here, and what I guess is going to hopefully put some fear into Delaware.
3rd and 2. Villanova showing pressure. The Cats bring it. White stepping up. Changes direction. He's got plenty of room. 10, 5, and into the end zone.
See White get the snap. Goes to the right side, reverses field. And it's a foot race all the way to the end zone.
And that was just a busted play, guys. I mean, I think we were supposed to roll out to the right, and I don't know if it was supposed to. I don't know if the running back went wrong. It looked weird. Like, watch this.
3rd and 2. Villanova showing pressure.
And Kevin White, let me see. So
the Cats.
I think they were supposed to try to get. They were supposed to try to get the tight end maybe right there in the flat. And something happened, but Kevin White just couldn't feel like he could pull that trigger. Oh, it was a flood concept.
So you got a little flood concept. I don't know if we're deep enough up top, right? We want to make sure we're getting enough depth that if we catch the ball, that we got a first down with the guy.
Let's bring it.
Okay, so I don't know why the guy
he's right at the sticks. So it looks like he's running like a little curl route at the stick. I mean, on the hash. Oh, and then you're trying to create some space. Yeah. Yeah. And again, I'd like to kind of, create some space for that guy that's leaking out, but I
don't like that. I don't like if you got
jumbled up.
If you go to the sideline, Dougie, I don't want you to stop and run a curl route. I want you to keep on going, because what you're doing is you're making your quarterback, once again, you're not making it easy. You're making him plant his feet and then throw in between 2 linebackers or 2 defensive backs. If he throws to the guy on the 20-yard line, who I guess he ran that curl and stopped, then he's got to thread a needle between this. First of all, this defensive end is getting pushed in front of him. He got to sidestep him. Then he's got to plant his foot and throw it in between 2 white jerseys to that guy on the 20-yard line. Man, don't ask your true freshman to do that on 3rd and 2. Come on now.
I think you're trying to get the guy out in the flat, arrow route, but you got pressure, and that kind of changed. That made him pull up on his rollout. And so when he pulled up, Kevin's got great vision. He saw that alley and was like, forget this. I mean, it's like Madden. He played a video game. He was like, oop, I'm gone. Right. I can get there. And so that's a tremendous weapon to have, tremendous asset to have. Just, when things break down, that you got a kid that can, take advantage of the seam and take it all the way. So, but yeah, man, that's
White stepping up.
And this right here, I mean, this right here can save some jobs. I ain't gonna lie to you. This right here can save some jobs, because when you got a busted play and then you just got the fastest guy on the football field, good things can still happen. And there is nobody in a white shirt that they should be resting their hamstring right now. Don't even pursue this guy. You're not catching him.
Changes direction. He's got plenty of room. 10, 5.
Now, run that all the way through. I'd like to see, did you get all the way to, the celebration and everything?
Oh, yeah.
3rd and 2.
I got to give Lawrence.
Villanova showing pressure. The Cats bring it. White stepping up. Changes direction. He's got plenty of room. 10, 5, and into the end zone.
See White get the snap. Goes to the right side, reverses field. And it's a foot race all the way to the end zone.
You saw that? You saw how everybody on the sideline had their head up as soon as he took like 2 steps? That's crazy. Watch this.
And it's a foot race.
Right there. Like he is like 20 yards out, and the guy still has a pretty good angle on him. Everybody on the sideline is like, oh, that's it. put up 6.
Yeah.
All the way to the end zone. Great run by KJ White.
You know, KJ.
Huh? That's it.
Oh,
That's
man.
all I got. That's all I got.
So you didn't get the touchdown celebration, man, but I wanted to highlight Lawrence LeGrone, man. He went all the way to the end zone, and he was one of three guys that hustled down, congratulate the guy or celebrate on a touchdown run. When we know the touchdowns been pretty hard to come by offensively, you know, and I want to keep on encouraging the guys, go celebrate with your touchdown with your teammates, right? You work hard to have good results. When you have a good result, go down there and pat the guy on the helmet. Go down there and celebrate with Lawrence LeGrone, right? Lawrence LeGrone didn't have to come off the field. He's got to go right back out there to kick the extra point. So there's other linemen on the field that can get down there and celebrate with him as well, right? That is important. All 11 guys should be down there celebrating the hard work and the good result of scoring a touchdown. Watch the energy that it'll bring to your team when you go down there and celebrate a touchdown together, right? It don't have to be nothing outlandish. Just go down there and tap the guy on the helmet. Let them know, hey, you did your thing. I did my part to get you there. Hey, we're excited about the results, right? It doesn't show that I'm excited about the results if I don't even manage to go down there and congratulate the guy for scoring a touchdown. Right? Am I that tired that I can't jog an extra 20 yards? I watched Lawrence LeGrone sprint to the end zone, you know, a chest bump and you know, encourages guys. But that's because he's a senior and he's been there year after year and he gets it, right? So if you don't know, follow Lawrence LeGrone. Meet me at the end zone. That's what we always tell guys. I'm going to the box. Meet me in the box, right? And you go back and look at old Aggie films of just guys celebrating with their teammates, right? You work too hard and put too much work in throughout the week not to go celebrate. Now take that, what you didn't get to see, but if you get a chance to see that highlight, now compare that against the touchdown with Taymon, right? The special teams, because that's a different unit. Those guys know how hard they have to work to make a block to get a guy to the end zone. So if you go back and look at the touchdown of us celebrating the kickoff return, you'll see guys that made an early block hustle all the way down the field, 80 yards to go celebrate with Taymon, right? That's the energy that we want, right? So that's in West, all in the same team, different units, different components, right? So if that's the rule or that's how we're going to celebrate on special teams, then we need to be celebrating like that on offense, right? Because we're one team. We're going to celebrate when we do great things, right? So just keep working, keep knocking away at the little things. We got some good guys that's got the right attitude, some good leaders back there. Shout out Ty Williams. Shout out all those guys that are still going to work every day, like Barry Turner said. But guys, be excited about it. You're going to have to put in the work. You know, it's not always fun, but those are the fun times. That's what you work for. That's how you get on TV. That's how you get a good picture. Dr. Simmons, Kev, they're going to get you. Aaron, they're going to get you when you're down there in the end zone, right? They're not going to get you after your teammate makes a sack and you beating your chest and coming to the sideline. No, they'll find you when you're in the end zone, right? So keep chipping away and keep doing the right things. But I'm not going to get on my soapbox tonight. I just want guys to be conscious of that.
I can dig it. All right, so look, I got one more video I'm going to show you. This is the final kind of potential scoring drive of the game. I think this was some good stuff, and I think we can build on. You know, I was asking earlier, guys. I was like, is there anything we can build on at least? We might not have the success, but you know, there's some hope. You know, so here's the one of the final drives we had in the game. Ended up in a missed field goal, but we at least moved the ball, you know, down the field pretty good. Let me see if this shows up pretty good.
Okay, for sure. Mark Ferrante, the 2021 CAA Coach of the Year. Fondacario sent that one really deep. And Kennedy.
So is it okay for you guys before I keep going? Y'all?
You're good.
Cook, the motion man. The fake pitch, White, the keeper.
Okay, so that was a quarterback lead. And like you say, Dougie, the only thing about it is that's not sustainable because you're going to get your guy killed. Like you saw Brick Handler in the UAB game, he was already limping around. I think we got to understand. We do have a lot of all four quarterbacks are mobile. Yeager, Hooker, Brick Handler, and KJ. But I just don't feel like we got to be strategic when we ask these guys to run. I definitely don't want them running quarterback lead draws. You know, you got too many big uglies right there. If you're gonna do anything, make sure you get these guys out in space so they can do like they did in Norfolk State and not get touched. You know, you know, just understand if you're gonna do it, you gotta be strategic. Don't just do that because it's on a play sheet. Make sure you're understanding the ramifications. But it worked there. He got 5 good yards. I guess at this point we need it, right? 7 yards. And that's that running game I told you was always going to be there. We had KJ, not KJ, but Kenji Christian take that inside zone and kick it out. He's going to get a big carry here. And once again, that running game, it wasn't an aberration, and UAB wasn't an aberration against Central. The only thing that's been slowing it down is that we got absolutely nothing. Like I anticipated something happening with the passing attack to complement it. We've gotten absolutely nothing. That's why the running game has not been as dominant as it could be. If we got any threat of a passing attack, and those guys wouldn't be able to put 8 guys in the box every time, you wouldn't see you'll see a whole bunch of better numbers. And but here's Christian making something out of nothing, really.
Christian turns the corner. Big hit on the outside by Hartzell. The handoff back to Christian through the middle.
Well, that's just good running, man. I mean, who we have on our first guest tonight? Barry Turner. That's what that wing T was looking like in 91, 92 when they was just slicing up guys. And when you say Coach Hayes said, we're going to keep running until you stop it. You know, and when you have that type of mentality where you're just going to have a dominant offensive line, you're going to win a line of scrimmage, you got a whole just bevy of running backs to get the ball to, you're going to win a lot of games. But I tell you what, even though they ran the wing T, they had some receivers and they had a passing attack. Connell Maynard, he didn't have no 64 yards offense per game. They were throwing that ball even out of the wing T, you know.
Yeah.
Takes the pile with him across the 45, and KJ White works out.
So that was in the third quarter. Now we're in the fourth quarter. Switch the field
Out of the shotgun. The handoff to Christian. Battles ahead, down inside.
I know we're down 37-14, and they kind of dropping back a little bit, but still, you know, anytime you can lean on a Villanova defensive line and you can just push them back 5 yards at will, that's something to put you, hang your hat on.
Hard mark of total offense on that play. White looking, drops it off. That one is mark of total offense on the.
Now this right here. Okay, so I didn't call Chris Young everything but a child of God the last couple weeks, right? Oh, man, I didn't say we need to fire him, all this kind of stuff. This right here is the opportunity for Chris Young to not only shut me up, but to solidify his role as offensive coordinator at A&T for years to come. And no one on the planet would be more happy to eat crow and to apologize and say, guys, I've made a mistake. Chris Young is the guy for the job. He is a great offensive coordinator. But this is it's going to take. He's going to have to do more stuff like this. Look at this great play design. You got your tight end on the far or at the very top, on the far right of the other line, and you got trips coverage here to the field. And this is what we've been asking for. Just give me a nice little drag. It's 2nd and 6.
That play.
That's all we asked for. So you got your 3 guys. You got your 3 guys at the bottom. Your receivers, they're running downfield like whatever you can call just 9 routes or whatever. They just they're opening up space, and then your target is this tight end who has great hands, Dobson. And you're getting him on this little tight drag, and he's got this flat wide open. So these guys at the bottom clear it out, and he runs underneath it. Now I don't like him getting redirected by this linebacker. He needs to fight through that a little cleaner. He got pushed off his mark. But look how open
that guy doing his job.
Yeah, I know, but you got as a tight end, you got to run through his chest and get you a pass interference or something, a legal contact downfield or something.
He's trying to stay within his landmark, because running that route a yard deeper or 2 yards deeper or a yard shorter, that affects everything else. So, I had to learn that over time, but you got to do your job and be in the place you're supposed to be in so that Kevin could deliver the ball. So, he fought his way through it.
I like to fight a little hard in this, but say he got bumped off. Now he got to go. Now he's a yard too shallow. He got to go back, but it's all right. He got an opening. Number one, I guess. Who is that? Is that Caldwell? So I guess Caldwell kind of ran a comeback route or whatever because he's now facing the quarterback as an option, I guess. But I need Caldwell to immediately turn around and start blocking as soon as he catches the ball. Let's see what he does.
White looking, drops it off.
Okay, that was okay. So he kind of what was that, like a dig or something? That's a weird route.
Running and cut.
I swear, Christian, I'll be trying to help you out, and you be doing crazy stuff. Why you want to dig on that?
It opened it up. I mean, that guy ran with him, so
all right, man. I give up, Chris Young. Man. All right, so let's just say positive. All right, so we actually completed the pass to the tight end. He got some space to run. Okay.
That one is complete to Dobson, who is angled out of bounds. Fondacario sent that one really. Who is angled out of bounds. All
right, so we got a completion to Dobson. Okay, so now we're in the red zone. Okay, we just gotta play this clean. It might not make a difference as far as the final score, but 21-37 looks a whole lot better than 37-14, right? So let's just see if we get into the box here.
Inside the red zone.
KJ White on the snap. Hits Dobson in the flats. Dobson.
You saw that, Craig? That was a 2-yard throw. That's easy. That's an easy completion for a true freshman quarterback. We need more of that. I don't want him to make a 20-yard post route on 3rd and 5, okay?
Yeah, and you have to do that with a young quarterback so he can gain confidence and get himself into a rhythm. And you really got to do that with a young quarterback. The kid's super talented, but he's still a freshman, and he still has to learn the college game. So, yeah.
And don't wait till the 14 minutes in the game to start doing stuff like that. You get that early so you get some rhythm and some confidence, like you said, Craig.
Mm-hmm. Get the yak.
Your A&T. White on the run. Got a block and is
once again. So he's running out of bounds. We got bulldozed, just like Brick Handler got bulldozed at UAB. Protect these quarterbacks, Chris Young. That's the only thing that's going to save you. Protect your quarterbacks.
Hip checked out of bounds. White under pressure. Somehow.
Just like that. That was almost the same thing we did with the touchdown run. And look what he got in front of him on that bottom of the screen. Space and opportunity, right? So once again, you got a busted play that could be big yards here. However, on this one, KJ White side, I want to be Brett Favre for the Packers instead of KJ White for the A&T Aggies.
Breaks free, looking downfield, throws, and just too tall for Dobson.
Young man, you never go broke taking a profit, man. If you got green grass in front of you, go ahead and get about 10 good yards and move the chains, man.
Hey, I'm not gonna question what Kevin White saw right there, man. He's got a lot of talent playing quarterback and got some stats from his high school days to prove it. But if you go look at the film, those are the kind of plays he makes. He squirts out, makes a play. We talked about the guy from Norfolk who made some plays, made some touchdowns, extending plays, right? It's not just him tucking and running, right? He understands we don't have any passing touchdowns. And from a receiver, I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to catch the rock, right? He felt I got one-on-one coverage. I'm going to put it high and outside where only my guy can catch it. It wasn't a dangerous throw. He's just confident in his arm and his abilities. And the more he plays and after Saturday and having some conversations, I'm even more confident and even more of a believer in his abilities. But, hindsight, I'm sure he knows he could have tucked it and run it or felt like he could have tucked it and run it. But, he's an unselfish guy, man. And as talented as he is, he's trying to do what quarterbacks do, right? So, that one he can go either way. So,
and I'm pretty sure Dobson is like he got more targets this game than he probably has in his entire A&T career as far as one game, because in that fourth quarter it was the Nick Dobson show. So I think he finished with the most yards of anybody.
Team for being able to maybe use one-dimensional. However, that certainly seems to be the case for the Aggies.
White sacked. And now Owen Daffer is going to head out.
So it's 4th down, and I've been really impressed with Coach Brown's demeanor and his steadfastness. He's always been even keel. He's setting the tone that don't panic. We're gonna figure this out. Just stay with us. And I think for the most part, he's done a pretty good job. Even though he's 1-4 and he got the worst offense in the country, he's done a pretty good job as a head coach, right? This right here was not one of his finest efforts because you can't have a late decision on a field goal opportunity where you run your field goal team out there with 10 seconds left, expect them to get set, and then they get a delay of game, and you go back 5 yards and you miss field. This is bad coaching. Okay, this is one time where that game, and that's all on Coach Brown. There ain't no assistant, ain't no special teams coordinator, nothing. All those analysts that we got, nobody is responsible for what happened right here except for Coach Vincent Brown. And this is not good. You gotta clean this up. If you're gonna kick, first of all, why are you kicking the field goal when you're down 37-14 with 12 minutes left in the game? I mean, who cares if you get 17 points except for somebody in Vegas, at the sports book? Who cares? That's an opportunity to run your red zone offense and try to get if anything. And you did that before, Coach Brown, where you had a crazy you punted in UAB. Don't get to that mode now, okay? Because I'm not gonna turn on you, but I'm gonna be a lot more critical. If you start waving the white flag and doing this little moral victory stuff, where we kick the field goal, we try to win the game, right? That ain't how you win football games by kicking field goals. I'm getting mad now. Field goals with 12 minutes left in the game, you're down 23 points, Craig. I just thought about that. Why are we kicking a field goal anyway?
Well, me personally, I probably would have gone for it, but coaches, I guess he looked at it from the standpoint, we got 12 minutes. Let's get some points. Let's not blow the opportunity and not get any points at all. Yeah. Right. It's not like we have great red zone offense this year. So I can understand. I can understand his reasoning.
What you gonna say, Doug?
Oh, like Craig said, we haven't shown to have too many explosive 10-yard plays in the passing game. So
yeah, really.
Things get tight in there around the red zone. You just saw Kevin White under duress the last two plays, right? He got sacked, and then the play before that he was flushed out of the pocket, which could have been a sack. So again, we one man we're saying protect him, kind of think about the big picture, and the next minute's like put him out there and turn him loose for one more play. Well, that next play might have been a negative play that cost us later in the season because he took a bad hit, right? And not to mention the hit you say he took 4 plays ahead of that. So maybe that's a coaching point. You bring him off and come talk to him. Hey, good job there. Make sure take whatever coaching points you want to make to him, and you get Owen Daphne, the Daphnator a rep, right? That's another. Although we missed the field goal, although we things didn't work out well. Yeah, it is definitely a coaching point now, right? You're talking about it. I'm sure they talked about it, but that's a conversation that should be had amongst the coaching staff. Hey, we got to be better right here in this instance. If buck stops with me, I got to do a better job of recognizing time to score, whatever. But hey, let's make sure that special teams coordinator at third down, we're already talking to field goal unit. Get ready, field goal unit on deck in the launch zone, so that if coach makes the decision late, that those guys can run on and be ready, right? It's more to being ready than just the decision. It's right. The next group of guys has got to come on the field, have to be locked in, ready to go. Everybody's got to know what's going on. And I should have my offense begging, coach, let's go for it. And my kicker like, coach, I'm ready. I've been over there warming up, for 10 minutes, right? That's how systematic it has to be. We'll get there, man. But, those are valuable reps, right? Unfortunately, we're still at a point in the season where we're getting guys reps and getting valuable playing time and experience. So that is an experience, driving the ball a little bit, having a chance to put points on the board, not coming away with points, and being able to coach it up to say, hey, we had too many mistakes here that caused us not to get a field goal. So, that's part of the process, part of the growing process. We all just keep on watering, right? Keep on watering the garden, man. We everything. We still growing. We still growing. So, yep.
Hey, so real quick, so we have to get off the show. We're almost at our hour and 30-minute mark. But I guess we can go ahead and do some final thoughts. But I just want to know from both of you guys before we do that. So what should be the expectation of the fan base right now? Because I know some people going all negative. I told you, man, like Doug, you know, you had to do the tailgate, you had to do the grill and man the tents because it was real windy out there. So you didn't get a chance to even be in the stadium for the second half. But I tell you guys, it felt like Lee Fobbs, that it felt like that season where you go in there with the old college spirit and you felt good about the team, but then by halftime, you're like, oh, we ain't got a chance. Like that I didn't see a lot of people upset and mad inside the stadium. It was like, dang, we was getting a butt kicked. You know, should we kind of temper down our expectations and just, you know, worry about fellowship and the band? Because I don't want people to get super frustrated every week if we don't really have a pathway to turn this thing around. Craig, you think, you know, you tell us, man. You know, how should we go into these games for the next 6 games, man?
Well, you know, it's going to be on a week-to-week basis.
That's it.
I'm not, you know, and to be perfectly honest about it, I'm getting really sick of people bringing up Lee Fobbs every time we lose a ball game. It's getting to be old. It's gotten old to me. Because this is a totally different situation than it was when Lee Fobbs was brought in as coach. Totally different circumstance. Totally different situation.
Why so? Tell me. I agree with you, but expound on that. Why is this different from 2007, 2008?
Competency.
Competency. Okay.
Yeah. Competency.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it as that. You can take it for what it's worth.
You got a praying mantis on your screen? What's going on here?
No, I got a fly in here. He said, for whatever reason, he set it right in front of the camera. Okay. But anyway, the biggest thing is that we have to recognize, we as fans have to recognize what our situation is. And our situation is right now is that we've got a team that is very young. We got a lot of inexperience at key positions. We're undersized on defense, and to be perfectly honest about it, we don't have the personnel to get into a slugfest with teams like Villanova and Delaware. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest about it. It does, you know. Doug always says, you know, it's not about the X's and O's of Jimmy and Joe's, but this is a Jimmy and Joe season. Okay, what comes down to, and until we can get a full recruiting year, a full-fledged recruiting year, to take care of a lot of those deficiencies that we do. Well, it's not a lot of deficiencies. It's basically 4 areas, but until we can get to bring in the necessary personnel that we to mix in with all these young kids who are going to have a lot of experience from this season, going against these heavyweight teams, we're going to have issues. Now, that being said, there are several games on the schedule left that we can very easily win as well. Right. And teams that are very, very compatible to us that we can play with. You know, with the exception of maybe New Hampshire late in the season, after we get past this week, everybody else on that schedule is very beatable. Hampton, and those are games that we can win. Yeah. You know, so this season is not over by any stretch of the imagination, and I think personally, I think this team is going to win some ball games coming down the stretch, and it's going to get better. And by the time we get into the latter part of October and then into November, I think we're going to be a decent football team. I think we're going to be a decent football team. We just have to. We just have to get better offensively. We just have to get better offense, especially in the pass game. I don't have a problem with our running game. We can run the football on anybody. Okay, we can.
Yep.
We can run the football. We know that, but we have got to do something about the passing game. We've got to be able to complete. We need to be. Coach likes to call it efficient. We need to be efficient in the passing game. I can probably put a dollar mark on it. We need to hit somewhere between 125, 150 yards passing the game. If we can do that, we can win. If we can muster up 125 to 150 yards in the passing game, given what we've got
in the running games, keep the same running game,
and keep the same running game that we have.
Yeah,
we have a good chance. We have a good chance to win. 4 or 5 more ball games before the end of the year is out.
I love to get 5 W's. Yeah, I love that. I'll take that any day of the week, man.
Yeah.
At this point,
yeah. And that would be realistic given what our situation is as far as our team makeup. That would be a Herculean effort to be to finish out at a 5 and 6 or
even 3 more wins. If we go 4 and 7 at this point,
4 and 7,
and if we show some sign of life on offense, meaning
I think that's the biggest thing is that we've got to show some balance on offense. We've got to get something out of the passing game.
Yeah.
And until we do that, then we're going to continue to struggle. But like I said, I don't have a problem with our defense because I know what we've got on defense. It's the baby brigade, but the baby brigade is getting better. They're getting better. You saw the Harrison kid at the press conference.
Yeah,
that's a kid. That's a kid. Last year we didn't sit on the bench basically and play special team. And now he looked good. He had a good game up in Norfolk. He had a good game this past week. Those freshman defensive kids, they're on the small side, but they're gonna get bigger. They're gonna get stronger. And if you mix in a good recruiting class of some guys got a little bit of age on them, got a few miles on them, whether they come from the portal or JUCO or wherever, you mix that in with that group of kids, that defense is going to be really, really good for a long time. But our fans, as I said many times before, our fans are not the most patient people in the world. But I will say this about A&T's fan base this past weekend. It's tough to lose ball games, but I didn't see anybody out there screaming that, let's get the torches and the pitchforks and we're going to tar and feather and run everybody out of town. This is not, like I said, you can't compare this with Leaf Ops. This is something that we pretty well understood after about the second or third ball game where we were. And so I'm under no illusions about our situation, but I do believe once we get past this week, I think the rest of our schedule, we got a good shot of playing really good football.
Hey Craig, you know who was out there Saturday?
Who's that?
Those Aggie supporters. That's who were out there Saturday. It was the supporters, right? It wasn't the folk that were there to make some noise and it was just true supporters. That's why you didn't hear them barking and complaining a lot, because it's those people that are starting to understand the process, right? So, we're gonna be there. A lot of those people, season ticket holders, so they coming, right? They coming. And like I said, I wasn't able to watch the whole game from the stands because I was out there battling the elements, right? Trying to keep those tents in place. But I think people get it, right? And I think that would be delightful for the fans to experience some wins coming down the stretch here. And those guys have a chance, man. Like you said, I love the press conference and the message that the kids delivered. And the coaches are starting to put the kids in the right place at the right time. Like part of that is getting him on the field so he can make that sack, when we're looking at trying to apply some pressure. So, things are coming together. They'll still continue to work. A big part of it, like we said, Craig, you talked Jimmy's and Joe's, and some of that preparation and having success down the road is going. Part of that's to being blessed and having good luck, right? Because you gotta have guys that are out there. And Aaron Harris, man, get well soon, right? Because we were down a starting corner, and that
really
difference.
hurt. That hurt bad.
That makes a difference. And
I didn't realize how much it was going to hurt until
I did. I called you last week and said when I saw him limping, and that was just a play. That was kind of a non-contact, making a cut type of deal. And I'm like, man, that's a big loss at the end of that game because I saw how it may have affected us going forward. And that's the first thing I noticed. And you saw the coverage bust. Guys like that help with your communication, right? Even if it's not on your side, guys like that have been there, help communicate and get guys lined up and in place. And when you have to make up for that. You can't always do it in the moment. But again, some other kids got some experience. Mr. Spindle got in there and made some plays. His play improved, but we don't have the depth right now to be down a guy like that. And that's just something that happened randomly that the average fan may not realize when they turn on the score to say what happened, but definitely was a major loss for us and impacted our defense. So hopefully we can stay healthy.
Gregory Featherstone the third.
Featherstone the third got in there.
Number 30.
He was flying around in there, man. I saw him trying to make some plays, man. And he had a big slip. He had a big slip that cost us on that one play. It cost us 6. But coach said it, man. He really protected that kid in the conference. Hey, man, those things happen. I pulled him over to the side, told him to keep playing, don't look at the score. Those are the things as a player that gives you confidence that coach didn't chew you out and you'll never see the field again, right? Because you made that big mistake in kind of your first opportunity to get out there and play a little bit. So, learning experience, let's get better. We got a ways to go for sure. But like you said, marrying those young kids with some guys you bring in recruiting wise, that's how you develop the depth. And, that way you've got guys that understand your program, your system, kind of what you're trying to implement. And you've got that strong base. You're not just starting fresh with a new team full of guys. So,
yeah, man, because we got 47 freshmen. I would be talking Lee Fobbs and we had 47 seniors. And we were playing like this. But for 47 freshmen, I'm realistic. You got to be realistic and in your expectations.
Yeah, and the portal guy, Lee Fobbs didn't have a portal situation. Lee Fobbs had a situation where we recruiting wise, after kind of Coach Hayes got fired, the recruiting cycles weren't as strong, right? And the talent down the road wasn't there. We had some other things administrative wise that it was just the imperfect storm, I guess you could say, of things that went wrong. But if you took the guys that we lost, right, the guys that, and I won't say graduates, guys that transferred, entered the portal and left, whether they would have stayed or not stayed, man, you can make a team of those guys and they could compete in the CAA right now. You can take an average line and take some of those skill players and the guys that went on and Burke Halter and you take Caleb Jones. If you take give me Burke Halter, Caleb Jones, and one of the linebackers, and that changes kind of what we look like right now. So
changes the entire dynamic.
Let alone the rest of the guys that left. So I mean those are talented guys that left the program that would at least be at the least contributing right now and be demanding the ball and commanding double teams, right? All those guys can play. So you don't see a lot of teams that are as young as we are because of the portal and graduate transfers and the COVID year, right? Like typically you can load your team up with older guys if you choose to. Now the fact that we didn't or we haven't exhausted our roster in that manner lets me know that we are building the right way for the future, right? We'll have some spots available and some scholarships available and those things. And again, I don't think what we're doing this year is affecting recruiting. A&T is still A&T. Application enrollment is still up. We're still the best school in the nation. GHO still coming, and you still gonna host kids over the next couple of weeks. If I'm a player, if I'm a baller, and coach says, "Hey, man, the foundation, we did you." That's what Coach Hayes say. You what I'm missing, right? That's a good recruiter. Yeah. Like I tell you what, regardless of what we're doing on the field, if the staff can recruit from now until February, right, and until you reorganize or make any other staff changes at the end of the season, if they're great recruiters, they can get the next group of guys in here. That's a plus. So I don't know who stirs the pot in that motion. I thought they did a decent job of getting out there and putting those offers out. Now we know we got 1 million offers on the table,
Yeah,
so some of those kids are gonna come through our doors.
I don't care about
Hey
offers.
man,
I can offer somebody myself. You got to close the deal. Now,
that's
I'm not
important
agree with you
because
on
there
that.
was a time.
I don't
No.
What?
I am from the camp where I was not getting attention from A&T when I was getting attention from everywhere else. And my biggest complaint was, hell, can I get a letter? I'd like to hear from somebody from A&T, a phone call. And I know times are different.
Once again,
you don't
I can
offer
talk.
the kid, you never know.
I'm
gonna tell you just like this.
Okay.
White, a different uniform, right? That's a kid that we went after that had Power 5 aspirations or Power 5 offers.
Who?
You go with the whole nonchalant. I don't offer the kid.
Who's we? Because that was not this regime. That was Coach Barnett.
A&T.
Oh yeah,
so I don't care who is. You know, I'm giving our guys credit for extending more offers because even in the old regime, we would beat the pavement saying, "Hey, who's this kid? Have we not offered this kid?" And when people are sending film and, "Hey man, my nephew, like he needs a look." Like at this point now, I don't think there's a kid on the map that doesn't know who we are and then that we're A&T and then we out here offer scholarships. So that gives you a wider pool and more kids will show more interest because you extended the offer. Just extending the offer and getting exposure or a kid retweeting, "Hey, I blessed to receive offer from A&T." That's a big deal, right? Social media is a big deal. So that's a start. That's part of the recruiting aspect.
Okay, so let me shameless plug. There's a kid over at Dudley who's a quarterback who's been throwing about 5,000 yards a game. He needs to get offered.
Atmore.
Andrew Atmore. I'm not going to go into it because I know his family and all that stuff. It's a shame that dude should be at least a 3-star quarterback, and he should be getting multiple Power 5 offers. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, throw the ball 70 yards. So y'all need to, all y'all recruits need to go to Dudley and find out why they beating teams 50-0. They got a quarterback over there throwing up 50 yards. But we got to get out of here. It's already over hour 30. Listen, check out the site. We got some photo galleries from the Dr. We got Dr. Simmons. Levester Hart and William Anthony Lawson, some great photographers. They did some great work this past week.
They really did. Great shots.
For the you guys see these shots. Go to the site and see the galleries from all those guys. But we got to get out here. For Doug Brown, Craig Turner, I am Samaj Marsh. We're going a little long. This has been a long episode of Inside the Valley. Thank you so much, Mr. Barry Turner Sr., for coming out and joining us and giving his insight, talking about his son, BJ. Until next time, hopefully we talk about a win, an upset victory over in Delaware this week, Saturday at 3 p.m. Newark, Delaware Stadium. It's going to be their homecoming. Hopefully we can crash the party. But until then, I'm Samaj Marsh. This has been Inside the Valley. See you next time. Peace. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.